So there you go. Big ones on the paste down the margins. That's what it's all about, boys. I absolutely love catching big units down the edge, and just behind me there to my left is an absolutely beautiful margin, and there's already a few carp coming in and out. But rather than using the normal sort of pellets, meat, corn, that kind of bait, I'm going to attack it tonight with that stuff. A nice bit of paste. It's been taking margins apart all over the country. Ground bait, feeding ground bait, combination, paste over the top, which is basically ground bait, has been an absolute winner. Not something I've done a lot of, but it's another string to my bow if I can get it right. So I've got an absolute bucket full of ground bait. I've got 2 kilos of F1 Sweet, all mixed up, ready to go, super damp. I've got a lovely margin. Let's have a quick look at the rig because it's getting to that time of day, the fish are coming in and I want to get started. Right, the rig, super simple. I've got a shortcut again. I've got some orange elastic in this time. This is like 16 to 18 at a thought. And then I've got my fast release pole pot again, like our last video, mounted back from the pole tip, but I've got a little dolly butt in the back of one of my sections, which will sort of counteract that, so I can ship to the end of my section and then ship back, just like we did in our last paste video. I've got quite a long lash on it this time. I want to try and keep my pole tip up onto the bank if I can. I've just got a little block, micro cubes there, that's 020 mainline. Now this time I've got a little margin float, look, I've got a little 0.3 margin float, and like you see there, all my shots are right into the float, so I've got nothing down the line on this. If I want to, I can pull a few down if needed, but I fancy, because it's only 15 inches deep, no shot down the line, just a big lump of paste on the bottom, I think will be a winner. And then a 4-inch hook length, again 020, and again a size 10 Kaizen, just like we did before. Now I'll just show you that little dolly but I've got in the back, so there he is, look. So it's just that long, and that is the same length as my pole tip to the pot. So when I ship out, I've shipped right to the end of my section, turn it over, let the paste plop out, and then I'll ship back to that joint where I'm actually fishing, and that way my float is going to be right above the paste. Just because of that pole pot, it's right back. That's back because I don't want my float to spin when I'm shipping out. I want a nice bit of separation between the two. So that's that. Now for feeding wise, I've got an absolute boatload of ground bait mixed up there. I've just mixed up 2 kilos and I've not even put it through a riddle. I've just absolutely saturated it. I'll put that down, I'll drop a lot. I've just saturated it and just broken it up with my hand. So that's what's going to go in the edge. I fancy I'm going to give 5 or 6 200mm pots to start, get some fish in there. I've seen an odd fish mooching about already. It's that time of day they're going to start coming in, and I'm ready to give them a clattering if they do. So it's going to be that fed, and then I've got 2 different pastes. I've got the natural one, which is on the soft, sticky kind of side, and I've also done one, I just love a bit of green beating, so I've done a green one as well. I think that green one will stand out really nicely over that yellowish colour ground bait. So that's all that, in a bit of a mess here. So let's get some grub in the edge. It might take a while for a couple to come in, but as soon as an odd one starts coming in, we'll get the cameras rolling, try and give you a few little hints, tips on paste fishing in the edge, but more importantly, hopefully we'll catch some big old units, because there's some amazing fish in this lake. Some of the nicest fish I've ever caught, so let's see if we can get a few in the net. Right then, let's give him some grub, try and get some fish in the edge here, because earlier on there was a lot of fish about, but I've been potching around with some cameras and that, and they've pushed out a bit now, so let's give them a reason to come back in the edge. It's only very shallow in fishing, it's like 15 inch there. And it's quite rocky, it's like flat for a little bit, then it's rocky, then it drops off, so it'd be a perfect spot to catch a few carp in the edge there, especially now we're later in the day. If this was a match now, this would be the time you sort of be thinking I'm going to catch a few in the edge. So I'm going to give them a good pile of bait. I'll spread it about a bit, feed it off the bank a little bit. Come on, up you come, there you go. That's 2. We've got plenty mixed up, so we're going to give it to them. Come on, you can push that one in a bit harder. Oh, Marge. Shouting over when boys are trying to do a bit of filming here. And what's nice with this edge is when they come in there, we should see a few tails, which will be nice. That's the last one I'm going to give them for now. Right, that's the edge fed. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to hang about a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on that edge. Like I said, they'll give themselves away when they're there, and then we can start looking to fish. Hopefully we'll catch a few great big ones. That'll be lovely, that. So let's give them 10 or 15 minutes and then we'll flick the cameras on when they're tailing up on us. So whilst we're waiting for a couple of fish to come in the edge now, I'll just quickly show you where I've plumbed up. Now, with pace fishing, plumbing up is super, super important. My peg is got like a little ledge, and then it sort of just trundles off really slow, like an inch at a time, just goes off nice and gradual. It's a lovely peg, bottom's nice and firm. For pace fishing, it's almost perfect. So what I've done, I've just plumbed up just to the bottom of my body. So I don't want everything tight on it, if you know what I mean. I want like a little bit of an arc at the bottom so the pace can just sit there, not be moved around, and not have the risk of the hook getting pulled through the paste if everything's too tight. So there's a little bit of leniency. So that's where we're going to start. Bottom of the body. The float is shorted, so I've just got a little bit of grey sticking out. But when the pace is on, it'll pull the tip down a little bit, and if it pops up and I see that little bit of grey body, I'll know the pace is off, time to come back and put a new piece on. So it's pretty simple. You know, pace fishing in the margins, everything is really simple. Like, we've got no shot down the line, everything's up under the float. You know, a nice stumpy little float, but long bristle, nice strong line, strong elastic. But fishing for big fish will stack everything in your favour. I'm just keeping an eye down that edge now, and I'm hoping before too long we'll see a few little paddles waving at us. So let's give it 10 minutes and get in there. Right, I've just seen a swirl. So I'm going to start with a real good blob of paste. You know, that sort of size, that's a good old dollop. And I'm just going to put my line through the middle of it, sort of fold it over like that, and then just pull my hook into the bottom, just touch it up a little bit, and that's going to be our starting gambit. You'd be amazed at what size piece of paste these fish will suck in. So you can see there, because I've got that bit of separation between my tip and my pot, the float just sits away so that the float can't spin up and get wrapped around the bristle. Now, I did just see a swirl there. He snuck in into the reader because I'd expect to see an odd tail sticking out the water there because it's only shallow, and I'm going to shift to the end of my dolly butt. Carefully put my rig in there and then just ship it back. So you can see now my float is right over that blob of paste. I'm going to pull my pole tip sort of onto the grass. I don't want them to be spooked by a pole tip. Like, a lot of the time you can be fishing in the edge. There's fish everywhere. When you ship and put your rig in, you pull over and they just disappear. So I'm going to use that long grass as a bit of disguise. So you've got a load of bristle out, and I'm expecting if we get a bite, that's just going to absolutely wallop under. So it's a good sign one's come in. Hopefully the more we feed now, we'll get a few more visits. One has just literally just swum out of the peg. I just seen him out under the surface then. And I didn't even know he was in there then, that one. So we'll give this a couple of minutes. If we don't see any more, I'll give him another pot or two of ground bait, because they weren't too long before coming in on that feed. Oh, there's one. I can literally see him 3 foot off the bank. There's one here now. So they're coming in. They're just a little bit wary to come too close in at the minute. But because I've got fishing on that kind of a slope, I'll know if my rig is fishing properly, because if that pace just creeps down that shelf too far, I'll pull my bristle down. Whereas now I've got a full show on it, look. Everything's sat there, ready to go. Oh, there's one just swirled now. My side of the float, so they're in the area, so we could be in for a bite here now. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Now that was, straight away I could see fish visiting that spot, in and out. I thought I was going to take the camera away, that one then. And that's a big unit, he had to reverse out of the peg, that one. Absolute brilliant bite, smashed under. God, you can't beat it, can you? Can you beat margin fishing? I don't think it gets much better, does it? That's a big old unit, that is too. And there's definitely no nonsense with paste fishing. And like when you're feeding bucket loads of ground bait, what can be better on the hook than a big blob of ground bait? I just can't see how you can beat it. That was an absolutely money bite. This is going to be a big unit if we manage to get this in. It's a big old dark one. I need to fight in here. Look at the water that's moving now. Oh, and you do catch them big old units on the paste. They absolutely love the paste. So just keep my eye down the edge and see if there's any more. There's another one in there now. Sure that water's just... It is, yeah, there's another one in there. But let's try and get this one first. Because that's got some serious size to it, that has. I love margin fishing. It's got to be the best, isn't it? You know they're big when you hook them. You've got to stop and reverse backwards before they can swim away. Oh my God. It's that 20 pounder. He's in. Oh my God. Jesus, tonight. Now, I know this fish has been caught multiple times at 20 pound. Jesus, tonight. That is unreal. So I'm going to quickly... It's got somebody else's rig in here, in his mouth as well. Whoa, 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 whoa. What am I going to do? Let me unhook him. I'll pop him quickly into a keep net, and then we can have a nice hold-up shot of him, because that is an unreal fish. Might even be the biggest carp I've ever caught, that. Could well be. That's huge, that is. Right, so I know this fish has been caught here at 21 pound. I can't even hold it. So there you go. Big ones on the paste down the margins. That's what it's all about, boys. Can I have a picture of that, boy? Huh? Oh, right, after that manic bit of excitement. Now I know that fish has been caught before in excess of 21 pound, and that felt heavy, like a concrete block. So because I've been playing that for probably the best part of half an hour, I'm going to give him another big pots in the edge here. The whole time I was playing that, they were coming in and out, but because I've been pottering around it a little bit now and up and down the bank, they've spooked off us a little bit, but I'm sure another cup or two of F1 sweet and they will be right back on us. There we go. Right, so that's the trap set. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to come back in. But there was loads of fish there. When I was playing that fish, they were all over it like a tramp on chips there. So I'm hoping by the time we bait up and drop in now, there'll be an odd one there. Whoa, what a fish that was. Unbelievable. I knew it was a unit as soon as I hooked it. It just couldn't move anywhere. Unreal. So I'm going to put that paste in. And what I'm going to do then, just to centralise him a little bit, I'm just going to carp it off the ground bit. Just sort this bead out. Bead has just slipped a little bit there. She is. Oh, I did not expect that. Right, let's get in there. Might be a little bit of a wait now till we get one. But I'm sure we will get one eventually. So just carefully put my stuff in there and then just fetch him back. There we go. We're fishing. I know everything's set right there now, but the amount of bristle I got showing, and as you've seen, the bites will be absolute whack-unders if you get one. What's going on now? There's a lot of ducks just jumped in. Oh. I seen that one. I seen his tail just before he took it. I absolutely seen that fish then. Big fish again. That paste is the boy, isn't it? Now I haven't done a lot of like paste fishing in the edge, I've got to be honest. Probably 10 years ago was the last time at Belingi I caught 1 or 2 on it. But not tried it since then, but I tell you what. Oh, that's a big one again. It's something I'm going to be doing a lot more of because it's just so simple. Just hammer loads of bait in, get as many fish in as you can, and then that big lump of paste just fishes itself. The rig is super simple, as long as you get the plumbing up right. Big boy again. Ooh. I could do with a little bit of even stronger elastic again than this. Got to be honest. The bites are unreal, aren't they? And what's nice is like I can see them coming in, and when you see one there, you almost feel as if you're going to catch it every time because they just can't resist slurping up that bit of paste. Oh, look at that. That's another absolute toad, that is. Look at this. Look at the size of that again. That's £12 again, of anybody's money. Oh, I'm not even going to try and hold that up. That's easy £12, so that's like best part of £35 in 2 chucks there. So I'm just going to give him the same again. I don't see the point in changing at the minute. So I'm going to give him 2 big pots. Look how much sweet, that was full to the top. Already gone through all that. I'm just going to let him have it there. No, I'm not on my mark there. Make sure I concentrate here, tidy. I just caught that great big one. What's the biggest one in here? £21 in it? That big common, the gold one. Just caught it now. Yeah, it's on video. And the isn't I? And the isn't I? Let's give him one more. Right, let's get straight back in there. Just want to check that hook length. Looks alright there. Just for any damage, because any weakness in your gear and these fish are going to find it. So again, just a big old lump. Fold him over. Mould him around a little bit. Just so simple, boys. And that's what's really nice about this. I won't feed any ground bait this time because they've just had 2 big pots. And they definitely like this F1 sweet. There we go. Right, she's in position, so we just wait now for one to come in. And what normally happens is you can see one before you catch it. Bit of rubbish on the float there. There you go. You know when there's one just boiled out now. So they are on that instantly. I probably, to be honest, need to feed and they just got straight in over it. So let's just sit tight on that for a minute. There's a bit of rubbish on the surface there now, there's a bit of scum about, but I feel like those fish are happier to come in underneath that and feed. I love it when you can see their tails. You can just see their tails edging towards your rig and then wallop, the float goes under. There we go. Well, that one took a little bit of time, that. Now I feel like what I want to do now, it didn't feel like there was loads coming in there that time, so I'm going to give them another probably 4 big pots, and I'm going to change this pot and put a paste pot on so I can feed like half paste, half ground bait and get them proper like centralised on my rig. But even though that was in there a while, it's nice knowing that paste is on and you've still got a chance. But this is an absolute mint bit of fishing. And you're going through some serious ground bait as well, so you want a couple of kilos mixed up if you're really going to attack it. Especially for these big old units, they'll come to some grub. Like every fish is £10, every single one. Now the big old mirror. Oh yes. That's an absolute juggernaut again. Oh, fat one. Come on, up you come. And you cannot rush these are coming at their own pace. Oh yeah, big fish. Big old sardines. Oh yeah. Let me look at this again. Oh, at least £10. Maybe a thou bigger, that one. Now what you've got to watch is, with paste fishing, when you net one, as quick as you can, try and get that float out of the net, because it'll go through the mesh, fish will kick and you snap the bristles off them. Oh, look at that, hook lovely as well. I would try and hold it up, but it's just not worth the risk. Come on, give me my hook back. That old 10 Kaizen, look at that. That old 10 Kaizen wasn't coming out of there in a hurry. So that's 3 now. For 40 odd pound. Unbelievable, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill my pot up with ground bait, give them 4 pots, and then put that paste pot on, I think. There we go. So a little change, a big pot, and a bit of green paste that time. And he's picked it out. It feels like another good one as well. So there's a few bits in there you can take away. It just shows you how easy paste fishing is in the edge. It don't get much easier than that. Simple rigs, strong rigs, loads and loads of bait. More bait the better, it seemed tonight. Plenty of ground bait. Give them that big old blob of paste over the top. full of beans in here. And it's definitely something I'm going to be doing a little bit more of, is paste fishing the edge, especially for these great big ones like this. Because we've only sort of foul hooked one. We have missed many bites. When it's gone, it's been a proper one in the mouth. So let's try and get this one in. We've probably gone through 1.5 kilos of ground bait, and we haven't really been fishing that long. And you know, we've had 4 fish over that, so just goes to show you want to give them plenty, give them a reason to come in. Just get loads and loads of fish in there, and I think the paste sort of just looks after itself then. There we go, nice fish again. So I reckon we've had 4 fish now, and they will, between the lot of them, that's the smallest one, I'd say they'd go over 50 pounds. So there's a nice one to end on. Hope you enjoyed that. Paste fishing the edge, definitely a place for it in your armoury, and now I've got this in my back pocket for next time I fish a match.